Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday night broadcast of Real Talk All the Time, 100% real, unpolished, unrehearsed, unapologetic, real talk for real people, with your host, myself, H.J. Morgan. We got the lovely Sine in the building with us.
Hello.
What's happening, Sine?
What's good? It's
Ain't
Tuesday.
nothing much. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Favorite day of the week besides payday. We're going to get into a few things tonight. Actually, we're going to talk about relationships tonight, but we're also going to talk about some of the very important events that have popped off the last few days of this week, some serious events. So we're going to talk about those things first. I actually have a very special guest. I'm going to bring in a partner in crime of mine for a long, long time. My man, Big Brother R. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am, young man. How are you tonight?
My man, Big Brother R. Jumping in here with us from Real Sports Talk in the Paint.
That's right.
Yeah, so I wanted Big Brother R to join us, man. It's so good to have you on, man. It's been a long time. It's been a hot minute.
For sure. No doubt.
But I wanted to have you on because I am not really following what's happening recently on the basketball side of things. In fact, I'm not even a huge fan anymore. But I keep seeing this whole LeVar Ball situation, and I actually listened to a few shows that I check out. I check out Jason Black, I check out Tariq Nasheed and everything, and they were talking about it and his run-in with this Leahy chick, and I don't know if that was Fox Sports or whatever like that. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this and get some insight. Actually, who is LeVar Ball? I know he has some sons that play basketball. So give me a little bit of background on this family and leading up to what happened with this white female commentator who basically cried the whole big black man threatening me routine there on TV. So basically. Can you give us some background? I don't know who fully who he is, so I know you you guys carry this as well. So Big Brother artist, educate us. Who is LeVar Ball and his sons, and where do they play and all that good jazz, please?
Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm just going to start off by saying I'm not a fan of this dude at all.
Okay.
However, this is a guy, as you had said, he has 3 sons. The oldest, his name is Lonzo, and he has 2 other ones. Lonzo is the one that played 1 season at UCLA.
Okay.
And then he decided to go for freshman. There's a lot of hype on him. They say he's a great passer, which he might be. He can shoot the ball, but he has an ugly shot, ugly form in that. But the father is doing something. A lot of our people in the urban communities are talking about like that, how they support this guy because he's trying to develop. He has a brand right now called Big Baller Brand. Okay,
right. Yes, I heard of it.
Okay, yes, right. He has that. So now he reportedly at first he wanted a sneaker deal for his son Lonzo, and he was talking about $1 billion.
Okay.
Okay, $1 billion endorsement for his, maybe not just for Lonzo, but for his other sons as well. But I'm like, this dude hasn't even stepped on the court of the NBA. You understand?
Okay,
and
so he's still playing college
calling
ball. Right.
Well, no,
okay.
he's going to be drafted. He's going to be drafted. He elected for the draft this year. He will be drafted, and he will be a top 3 pick. All right, but his father is just putting himself out there, and he's getting people to talk about Lonzo Ball, and he's getting people to talk about the millions he might bring in to the Big Baller brand. You understand? And so there was this conversation about a shoe deal. I think the sneaker is called Zoe 2s. You know, as for the last 2 letters of his son's first name, Zoe, and 2, the number 2.
Right.
Now, these are supposed to be priced $495.
Yes, I heard about that. Right.
Okay, you heard about that too, right? So all this guy, LeVar Ball, is doing, he's just saying outrageous stuff. He talked about LeBron James and his family. He talked about Kyrie Irving, you know, not having a mother, and his mother died when Kyrie was like a toddler or whatever. You know, he's saying all this so much outrageous stuff, Mo. It's ridiculous with him. You understand?
Okay.
And the thing is, the media, the white media that is, they shove a mic in front of this guy. They put him on TV, and he goes and he just says a bunch of half-cocked stuff. You understand? And it makes him. That's one thing I don't like about it. I'm like, dude, just because you have a mic in front of you doesn't mean you get to just say anything you freaking want. I'm sorry, you know? You have to be within, you have to be checked. You understand? You have to keep it in check. I'm like, come on, mate. The outrageous stuff he says is ridiculous. I don't know if you or I'm sorry, I didn't catch the young lady's name.
Sine.
That's over there. Sine. Okay. I don't know if Miss Sine had heard anything about this guy, but it's ridiculous with him. You know?
Okay.
So they just keep parading this guy out there in the media, and he goes on there and makes these outrageous, stupid-ass comments. I mean, there's so many I can't even remember because one is just, like, more ridiculous than the other. You understand? It's just out of control. Now, to tell you what happened with the Kristen Leahy chick that's on Fox Sports.
I heard a clip of it, and go ahead. I want you to go ahead and address it. There's something that stood out to me that I didn't like that she had said, but I'll let you go ahead first.
Okay. Well, you know what? My thing is, there was a lot of talk about racism, and really, she didn't really say, at least in my opinion, she didn't really say anything racist, but however, checked her. And I thought that was well-deserved. You understand? Because she took exception with, well, you want to market your shoe to women. Because she had asked how many sales the shoe had done, you know, and that's what kind of pissed him off. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
For whatever reason, but it did piss him off. You know, so he just chose to ignore her, and he focused on Colin Cowherd, and that was it. You know, and then he said something to the extent of like, you got something coming to you, or maybe not like that, but she took that as a threat.
Right.
Well, you understand?
Right. Well, what I heard on it, he had said something. I took it into the context of, basically, if you come for me verbally, I'm gonna come for you verbally. Right. So that's the context I got it in. If you're gonna say something about me, then damn it, I'm gonna say something about you. So you got something coming to you if you say something to me. That's what I believe, and what I understand. Okay. Before that, and I'm not sure because, like I said, I'm not really heavily into the basketball anymore. But I've heard she said some really slick stuff about this guy before, in regards to him and how he, she's alleging that the guy's kids are afraid of him and stuff like this, and things like that. Which I think this is out of order. Like it's like for one thing, she was implying that his kids would have never wanted to play basketball if he didn't force it on them. Now. This is my thing. Did anybody ever ask Archie Manning this question? Well, did you force Eli and Peyton to play football?
That's an excellent point.
You understand what I'm saying? Point, so here it is, a black guy, and I'm not saying that this guy is outrageous or not. I don't know, but what I'm saying is that here is a black man is raising his kids. They don't have a prison record, okay? No. And he might be a driving force in their life. Right, but to come up with these little accusations and to put this out there, as a buzzword. Right. Like I always tell people, listen to the verbiage of what full white reporters in the media say. Listen to the verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So anytime a black man is involved, it has to be something going on. It has to be wrong. There has to be some fear involved. There has to be something wrong going on. Same thing, you know, they trying to paint this whole thing with Serena Williams and her father, and, you know, that whole shit. They tried to paint Tiger Woods' father as, you know, as some mean ogre. You know, every time you have a successful brand and there's a father who was heavily involved in that, somehow the father was crazy in all of this. You understand what I'm saying? But when it comes to somebody, like I said, like Archie Manning, they never asked him, well, did you force your sons to play football? Did you make them cry when they when they dropped the pass or when they didn't? You know, they never go into any of that shit, any of it.
Right.
So I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, Brother R. So I was, you know, this is my thing there that I noticed about it. And then the thing with the threat thing, you know, I've had experiences as a large black man, as a black man of large stature with white women too, where if you don't address them a certain way, then suddenly now, you know, I've had somebody say, somebody see me talking about, oh, your big black hands or something like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady? My big, what is that fucking supposed to mean? My big black hands. I'm gonna wrap them around your fucking throat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, big R, I think she coded up. I think she got on code. It was like, oh, you threatening me? You know. So now everybody, all the white reporters are not going to key in on this. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, this guy is, you know, he's unhinged and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He made this poor little white girl afraid of him and shit. So, but go ahead.
But you know what? And I hate interrupting you and whatnot, because when you get on the roll, you are on point, my brother. There's no question about it.
Well,
but
thank you, sir.
Throw something at you. Let me just throw something at you. Not only just the white reporters, but there was this one particular black guy who I think is a fat
Jason Whitlock.
Shit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I tweeted him today. Yeah, but yeah, I tweeted him today.
He, of course, he had to, you know, be the obligatory brother to go out there and try to protect, you know, his
let me jump out here and protect my white swallow.
Exactly.
This guy, man. You know? So he throws himself out there on the cross now. And it's saying about how dare he, you know, as I guess speaking for the other black men, how dare he speak to you like that and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Jason Whitlock, I tweeted him today, is a fat coon. Jason the fat coon Whitlock is what I call him. This guy is just really way out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm not, listen, let me just say this real quick. I don't hate anybody. But, you know, I look at things how it's being brought forth. All right? You got a lot of suspected white supremacists in the media that say slick shit. And what she did was she was on code and sent that little verbiage, that little buzz, so that has everybody looking at this man like he's crazy now, as if they weren't doing that before. Now, what Jason Whitlock is doing is he's not on code, like a Charles Barkley and like some of these other cats out here. Jason Whitlock is not on. In fact, he doesn't even know what a fucking code is. You understand what I'm saying? All he's worrying about is performing fellatio on his white bosses. You understand what I'm saying? I'll swallow the cock, sir, until I start tearing up in my eyes. That's this guy came out. You know what I'm saying? With his response to you know that incident. But go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, I got a little caught up.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, I love it, man. Listen, I just line them up for you. You knock them over, kid. That's what you know what I'm saying. That's all I do, man. Telling you.
You know.
But you know what?
But but go ahead.
But it kills me. Though. You know. My thing is, though, like I said, I really don't have a lot of love for the guy, to be honest.
No, I understand that. A lot of people don't like him.
Right. But
and the white media definitely can't stand him.
Right. I do want to raise a point, though. One point that I feel I'm on totally is something that, you know, a lot of us should do. You know what I'm saying? As far as if you're able to do so. If you can have a sneaker line and not go for sponsorship from Reebok or Nike or Under Armour, and you're going to do your own, I feel that's something that, you know, more people of color need to do. You understand? And have complete ownership. You know what I'm saying? So while I'm mad at the price and some of the statements that the brothers make, you know, however, I do respect that about him. You
right,
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
and
I do
here's-
respect that about it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I just want to say this, 'cause I know you don't have too much time because you got to do your own show
Right.
shortly. But I just
Yes,
want
sir.
to say this, man. As far as the sneaker is concerned, what this is my concern with that. Now, from what I understand, he's actually sold 500 sneakers. So 500 sneakers at $400 or $500 a pop. That's about $2.5 million right there, right? So, you know, he's not. So he sold 5,000 sneakers. So 5,000 sneakers at about $500. That's about $2.5 million, I think, right? Something like that, something along those lines. My math is not great, so forgive me.
Okay.
But
okay.
not for nothing, that's not doing too bad. Now I wouldn't buy them. Okay, just honestly, that's out of my price range. But the thing of it is, I'm saying all this to say this, Rod, is that I don't want young kids getting these sneakers or trying to kill themselves, or parents who are struggling trying to kill themselves to get these sneakers for young kids, just to have the kids robbed at school or some crazy shit. You understand what I'm saying? These higher end sneakers should be only bought by people who, you know what I'm saying, are in that lifestyle. They can handle that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is a higher end sneaker. I would respect, though, if he would, being that he's making that kind of money off a higher end, maybe have a lower end sneaker, damn good quality for kids that you know what I'm saying, have to go to work after school or something like that want to get the sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Mom, I'm gonna tell you this. Last night we had a guy on in the paint, and his name is Sean Williams. Okay, and he has he's like big with the sneaker culture. You understand? We had him on, and we was talking about the whole sneaker thing with LeVar, and he was saying basically it's a copycat of, I think, the Kobe Zooms.
Really?
Kobe Zoom 4. yeah. Except it was made of a much poorer quality. You understand?
Okay.
He says it's basically the same exact design, but it's just poor quality. The stitching is bad. Yeah. All that stuff. You know, really. But yet you're charging more than double of what those Kobe's cost, because they were like about $150, $160. You understand what I'm saying? Back then. You know, if you go on Google and images, you could just compare it yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and I agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I said, and that's another thing. Now, if he's gonna be selling sneakers like this, then brother, come on now, you got to give quality too. You know, maybe maybe he can spend this $2 million he made off the first 500 pair or 5,000 pair, and maybe you know, revamp them and make them better quality.
Yeah, make it better quality. Now,
another thing. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. Another thing too, brother. It's the fact that I have to verify this, but I've heard that even though he sold, they don't have any made yet.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's another
thing.
Have any made. Production. So that's another thing.
Exactly.
Lord
they don't
have
have
mercy.
any actually made. Exactly. So
Oh,
the rabbit
my
hole goes
goodness.
deeper. Okay.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't even have any made
boy.
as of yet, because if they did, if you've seen, I think they went to one of the playoff games or whatnot, and they're sitting on the sideline. They don't even have their own sneakers that they represent. They have on Nike.
Oh, see, no. You got to have your own joint.
I have to verify this.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
You
Well,
understand?
I admire the fact that he wants to cut the middleman out. He wants to cut White Daddy out of this. So he doesn't want to be bothered with Nike and nothing like that. I respect that. But you got to have a team that can produce in mass, and you got to have quality. If you're going to charge people $400, if I bought a pair of $495 sneakers and I took them home and the shits fell apart, I'd be ready to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one time I had a vehicle once, and this is a true story. I had a vehicle once, had it for a month, had all these types of problems. And I went to the car dealership and said, hey, man, this is XYZ is happening. I keep bringing the car back. You guys keep saying you're fixing it, and same issue. I said, I need another car. So the guy was giving me a hard time. And this is a true story. I told the guy, I said, listen, you're going to take this fucking car back. I'm going to drive it through the fucking showroom window. Now, which one is it going to be? You know what I'm saying? So, eventually I got another vehicle, but I mean, I'm just saying quality is an issue. You know what I'm saying? So you want to take care of that and take care of your customers so you can have repeat customers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I had to get that because I don't know what's happening. I just keep seeing it pop up in feeds and this, that, and the other, and the ball and blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to know what this is. But I tell you this, though, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. So if anything, his brand is getting the notoriety that I guess he's looking for. You know,
this guy is getting about the equivalent of $50 million in free advertising.
Look at that. Yeah, look
Straight
at that.
up.
So, you know, so there you have it, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe, hey, Big Brother R, maybe he's crazy like a fox. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly. Because when I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy, he might be a fucking mad genius, this son of a bitch. You know?
Yeah.
It just it just hit me. You know?
Right. Well, here's the other thing. If you had a zany white guy on TV acting like this and doing the same thing, they would call him eccentric.
Exactly.
You understand? They would give him some type of accolade that he's to be a mad genius. They wouldn't go at him. So my only thing is this: in the black community, all right, you may not like the guy, but you know what? This is something that I get from that I've heard from Tariq Nasheed, I've heard from Jason Black, heard from Professor Black Truth. We have to get a code, man. There's shit happening out here right now. All right, and black people have got to get on code. All right. Yep. And we got to support our own as well. Now, I ain't got no $495 for no sneakers that ain't made yet.
Right.
So I can't support them there. But I wish them well. I wish them well, and I hope that, that something can come from it. But we got to stay on code. You know, that's the first lesson number one to fighting. We're in the middle of a war here, Big Brother R. You know what I'm saying? And we're taking casualties, and we're not creating any casualties. All right? We're taking a lot of casualties right now, and we're not we're not making any. And not for nothing, we gotta get on code. I'm sorry, we gotta get on code.
Yeah,
and part of the code is, especially in the media, is doubling down and closing ranks. And people like Jason Whitlock, Charles Barkley, and Stephen A. Smith. Okay, these cats are out, and they got to stay out. Okay. Exactly. And we have to get what they program on a daily damn basis. All right. And what I mean by that is we have to make these guys a pariah to the point where nobody will listen to them. Nobody will even take them seriously. You know. So that's what we have to do to them. If you're gonna go ahead and not be on code, go ahead, brother.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I totally agree with you. Now the hard part about that is, since we're already pretty much brainwashed to those three guys you just mentioned. You understand? It's going to be like it's going to be like a steep climb up a mountain. It's going to be a very steep climb up a mountain. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough job. Can it be done? It can be done, but it's going to be a lot of hard work because a lot of cats are just brainwashed. You know what I'm saying?
It is. But this is what Dr. Neely Fuller talks about when he talks about counter-racist code. All right, we got to figure a way to counter these guys. You know, we're taking as a community, as a society, as black society, we're taking a lot of rights to the fucking head right now. All right, and I don't want to be punch drunk. You understand? Right. So at some point we got to counter and start jabbing back, and the way to do that is to make basically I'd like to make the white supremacist media illegitimate, but let's start with the tools they're using, which are your Stephen A. Smiths and your Jason Whitlocks and your Charles Barkleys. We have to delegitimize them and dismantle them completely. And then we'll move on to the next target. But we got to start picking out targets. You got to start picking out targets and coding up. I'm sorry.
Well said, brother.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree.
What's going on, brother? What you guys got cooking up, man, in the Real Sports Talk in the Paint show lately, man? What's some good things that's happened on you guys' end?
Man, let me tell you something, brother. We just got some NBA talk. We're gonna talk about LeBron James and of course Steph Curry and all them over there in Golden State. A couple of boxing matches happened this past weekend or two. We getting into that. You know what I'm saying? That's really about it, man. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna keep it real, regular gully as always.
Absolutely.
We always invite you and your audience to tune in as well. You understand? I'm gonna shout out the digits real quick if you don't mind. We start at 9 p.m. sharp. Yes. 9 p.m. sharp in the paint. Calling number 347-426-3634. Whenever you want to join in the conversation, just hit 1 on your dial pad. We'll be sure to bring you in. And we get this like I said, we do our stuff barbershop style. You understand?
That's right.
With the sports.
Absolutely.
You understand? So that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you can check us out 9 p.m. tonight.
That's right. And if you want that real raw sports talk, you definitely get with those brothers there. They do a damn good job, man. And I love them brothers. They got love for us. We got love for them, and we appreciate it, man. I know, like I said, I can't keep you long, but Big Brother R, I want to thank you for chiming in with that. I needed that background tonight, and I appreciate you for bringing that. And brother, I will be jumping over there on there and coming to crash here shortly, man, so I can see what's going on with you, brother. All right?
It's all good, my man. Take care of yourself, all right?
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
No doubt. Now we'll be back.
I'm going to hold you to it.
No question, brother. All right?
All right. Oh, man, that was my man, Big Brother R from Real Sports Talk in the Paints. And there, I know you are not into the sports at all, so we probably drilled a hole in your head. But
no, you didn't. I was doing other things. I was reading.
Okay.
It was fine.
Okay. All right. Well, but like I said, there's a couple of things before we get into the relationship thing that I want to definitely talk about. So we're going to make this maybe a two-parter because what I mean by two-parter is that there's a couple of things we definitely want to talk about before we get into that. So please bear with us.
Mm-hmm.
Not for nothing, I got to go ahead and get into a couple of things here. In light of these, all the publicity in regards to the Confederate monuments being taken down, and of course, with the with the FBI investigation into Donald Trump and everything like that, there's a serious fervor going on here in this country, and of course, your white supremacists are acting up, acting out, and acting a fool.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, and this is a story that I'm looking at from melanoidnation.org. You can check them out. I definitely like them. I mess with them heavy. A black Texas congressman said that he's been threatened with lynching by callers infuriated over him seeking impeachment of President Trump. Representative Al Green, a Democrat, held a town meeting and played recordings of several threatening voicemails left at his offices by white supremacists in Houston and Washington. This is from the Houston Chronicle. One male caller used a racial insult and threatened Green with hanging from a tree if he pursues impeachment of Donald Trump. Another man left a message saying Green would be the one impeached after a short trial and then he'd be hanged according to the recording. Trump supporters can also be heard in recordings repeatedly referred to the congressman as the nigger while threatening him with different forms of violence. So, it's so very interesting how, and I'm going to get into this, how Donald Trump is across the water, overseas. He's visited Saudi, Israel. I think he's in Italy tonight. And he's talking about being hard on terrorism. And, he's calling terrorists losers and stuff like that. It's interesting how the stance on terrorism here in this country is not talked about in the same way. Now, these are terroristic threats that are being made against U.S. congressmen by white supremacists. It's funny how this being a white supremacist, you're not called a terrorist to begin with. I don't understand how you could be a white supremacist and not be considered a terrorist. Is beyond me. Okay, if you know any Bloods or Crips, they call you a gang affiliate, don't they? And you're can be brought in on racketeering and RICO shit and all types of shit, collusion, guilt by association, all types of shit. So this false narrative that's being put out by President Trump and people that support him in the white media that talk about terrorism from Muslim countries, which, could be valid, invalid, whatever the case may be. I'm not really totally concerned with ISIS or Al-Qaeda. In fact, they don't pose an immediate threat to me at all. I tell you who does pose an immediate threat. White males in this country pose an immediate threat. White law enforcement pose an immediate threat to me and people that look like me. Okay? White supremacists pose an immediate threat. So you're talking about terrorism overseas. We got terrorism going on right here, and you're not doing a damn thing about it. You're not even mentioning it in passing conversation, and it's just a non-topic here. So, this is something that I take seriously. We have the recordings of threats against congressmen and other people all across the country. You have racist threats being made on social media. Nobody sees this as conspiracy to commit a terror act or anything like that. So, again, I think it's a false narrative, a false outrage when you talk about terrorist attacks overseas, and they just lynched somebody in Virginia last week. Okay? I think it's a false narrative to talk about terror, and you take somebody that shot up a church to fucking Burger King. Okay? You don't give a fuck about terror because you're the author of fucking terror. So I really think that we need to be honest with ourselves and with the people that talking about that talk about this bullshit, and really take a hard, close look at this stuff. Today, what are your thoughts on this with this congressman that was threatened in Texas on this?
I firmly stand behind everything you said. I just feel like it's always a double standard. I can remember when Trump was calling for Barack to show his birth certificate and all of that, and he got all of this. It was a lot of people that still supported him when he did that, and I just think it's crazy how they support somebody who back then wasn't even in politics. Let alone, I definitely wouldn't think that he would be the next president. But how they don't call to arms when it comes to our people. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I remember when Barack Obama his first term, when I think it was a politician, a woman from Arizona that put her finger in his face. And even when I saw the pictures when they were on the runway, I was thinking, where the hell is the Secret Service? Like, how does someone get up to him like that and be that aggressive? And someone took this picture, and I don't see anyone en route to him or anything. So I would not be surprised if something really did happen to him. The same way it happened to the two judges that we just spoke about a couple of weeks ago. I don't trust anything. I think they support that. And I think the fools that are on the phones and making those calls, those are really not the ones. They get pissed and they talk a lot of shit and they call. But those, to me, are not the people that will really pull the trigger, that'll be sitting and waiting for him outside. They're very, to me, stealthy, and I think that's just a lot of, like, horns and whistles blowing. But I do think that it could happen, and it wouldn't be investigated, and he should have a round-the-clock protection, along with them speaking out and saying, we are actively pursuing anyone. I don't care if it's just a prank-ass call or whatever. Anyone who is threatening him,
well, see,
we're actively looking for you.
See, that's another thing, too. When you actually, and this is white supremacist punks are notorious for this. When you catch up with them, if you see them in the street with the Confederate flag or whatever, and you approach these cats one-on-one, suddenly they don't know that they're being offensive or it's a practical joke. You understand what I'm saying? This is their thing that they do. I didn't know that it was offensive. I was just kidding around. But you know, this is what I say: whip that ass anyway, because sometimes a good ass whipping will make you act right. So if you catch one talking that crazy shit, whip their ass and whip it good. Whether they say they joking around or just kidding or don't know or not, whip that ass, whoop that ass, whoop that ass. Because only then will they get some act right. I'm sorry. I'm just so tired of the bullshit when it comes to these characters. Whoop that ass. Okay? And then you have a story that really touches home because of the fact this man was in the military. I'm going to go ahead. This is also, I got this from Illinois Nation as well. I'm going to go ahead and read this briefly to you. This one pisses me the hell off. In yet another case of racialized attacks in the United States, a 22-year-old University of Maryland student is accused of fatally stabbing a Bowie State University student. The random racially motivated attack happened early Saturday, police say. White supremacist Sean Christopher Urbensky randomly approached Richard Collins III, who was with two friends, one white and one Asian, near a bus stop at College Park campus around 3 a.m. and stabbed Collins in the chest with a folding knife. I'm going to go ahead and get into his friends very shortly here. The brother was with a white guy and an Asian guy at this bus stop. I'm going to address that here in a moment. Mainstream media outlets who have taken the position to protect the system of white supremacy are already making excuses for the white supremacist terrorist, Sean Urbensky, by trying to minimize the heinousness of the attack. Some outlets are claiming that Urbensky was intoxicated. Oh, really? Okay. As if to imply that it was the alcohol and not Urbensky's racial hatred that was the motivation to murder a random black man. The media and law enforcement officials are also trying to claim this attack was not racially motivated. Yet Sean Urbensky belongs to a white supremacist Facebook group called the Alt-Reich. That's R-E-I-C-H, not right, the Alt-Reich, as in the Third Reich. So this guy clearly had racist views, racist ideology, and he wanted to act out on his racial hatred on somebody. Now, he approached this brother, from what I understand, and said some type of slick-ass whatever comment. Again, this is I have to give this to my brothers and my sisters out here. If you're approached, okay, and whatever the individual is talking about don't make no sense to you, don't ask no questions, don't even verbalize any type of acknowledgement. Just whip that ass. Just whip that ass. I'm serious. Just go to whipping that ass. Because obviously you want a problem. 3 o'clock in the morning, you approach me asking stupid-ass questions.
Absolutely.
Just whip that ass. Close the distance quickly between him and them so they can't pull out no weapon on you and commence whipping that ass. That's it. I'm sorry. This is the only way that situations like this are going to need to be dealt with. Whip that ass. Okay? And like Malcolm X said, you know what? You obey the law and all that stuff, but if somebody puts their hands on you, you send them to the goddamn cemetery. And that's the realest shit that has ever been spoken in this country, and I stand by that to this day. All right? Now, this brother was in the military, second lieutenant. He's an officer. He was supposed to close that distance on this cat and deal with him appropriately. Now, here's the thing. He's with a white friend and an Asian friend. What the fuck were they doing?
Right.
They didn't beat the brakes off this guy when he plunged this damn knife or whatever into this guy. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They didn't, I mean, damn. Like, what, really? So, for all the shit that we talk about how, we're all together and we all one. No, we're not. I'm sorry. We ain't got no, when it comes down to the hardcore in the trenches, it's time to put up and shut up. We are by ourselves, black people. I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm sorry if you're offended. And I know I have lots of, I don't know if I can say it, but lots of so-called white friends. I'm sorry if this is offensive to you. I'm sorry. But when it comes to in the trenches, it's time to put up or shut up. I may have to take somebody up out of here. We don't have any friends. Okay? These guys stood there and, I mean, seriously? Y'all, they should have been whipping his ass until the sun came up.
I mean, stomping his ass to sleep. I mean, for real. They should have been they should have been peeled off of him. I don't even understand how that. He should have been by the time the campus police got there, he should have been unrecognizable. Like, who the hell is this guy? Absolutely.
We need to look at dental records to find out who this guy is. Seriously, I'm sorry. It may sound harsh, but I'm sorry. This bullshit, since Donald Trump has become president, has gotten way, way, way out of hand. And damn it, it's got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop, black people, is if we make it stop. Okay? We can't, I'm sorry, and people can get offended by this, but I'm sorry. We can't pray this shit away. For all you Bible pounders and all you churchgoers, God bless you, but we can't pray this shit away. And to all my metaphysicians and the people that are into spirituality, we can't meditate these motherfuckers away either. How about that? Okay? We're going to have to put the rubber to the fucking road and start defending ourselves and being serious about it. Okay? We're going to have to do that. All right? And if we ain't got the balls to do that, then I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to have to start defending ourselves and being damn serious about it. These cats are playing chess, and we're playing checkers and twerking. The bullshit's got to end. This poor young man was, as his father said, he was the best of us. All right? He was an extraordinary young man. Okay, this was no street thug. And I'm quite sure they probably tried to find out if he peed the bed at the age of 3.
Yeah.
Well, this nigga peed the bed as a child. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of shit they do. They'll go through all this guy's past. Was he left back in the 2nd grade? Did he pee the bed?
Right.
Did he eat his boogers? All types of stupid shit to justify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not even
and
a cop
even
killing
right now
him.
they're saying
right.
They're investigating a possible hate crime.
Yeah,
that's still what they're saying.
Right. This is the verbiage. This is the verbiage I keep telling people to listen to. The white media puts certain verbiage, but they stay on code. They haven't called this guy an animal yet. They haven't called him a thug yet. All right? They haven't said, well, there's another thing they like to do when it's reversed. They say, well, the guy's his father was in jail before, his mother was a prostitute. We don't even know about this guy's parents. Okay, that's the first thing they would have done. If they can't find him, something immediately on you, well, what does his parents do? Okay, they did that with the damn kid who fell in the ape's cage that time with Harambe. Oh, his parents were, blah, blah, blah. Anything to justify what it is they're trying to do, they'll do it. So I want to hear about this fucking racist pieces of shit family. I want to know about his mother, his father. I want to know if his mother was a whore and sucked dick for a living before she met his father. I want to know about all that shit. Okay, this is bullshit, pure D bullshit. Again, this young man was the best of us. He was supposed to graduate, from what I understand, today. Was it today? I think. I think
today.
it was today.
It was today.
He was supposed to graduate today. Yeah. My goodness, and then go ahead and serve a country, an ungrateful country.
His father went and got his degree for him today.
Right.
Well,
he was going off to serve an ungrateful country, a country that doesn't give a fuck about this man's service to it. You understand? This is what's going on here right now. This is what Trump America looks like. But I'm telling you right now, black people, you can listen, you can not listen, but you better start defending yourselves with extreme prejudice out here. You better start damn well doing it, because they're playing a whole different game with your ass. There's no way this guy should have got that close to him, and his friends, his so-called friends, that they couldn't even come to the funeral. I wouldn't even let them come to the fucking funeral. You understand? You just stood there. They couldn't come to the funeral. That was my family member. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. Now, I have another story here that I'm going to move on to. Now, this one is a little bit different, and I say, God, you know what? People say a lot of stuff about Mexicans, but God bless them. This story comes out of Cancun. I was just out there in Cancun last month. It's very interesting, this story. Mexico, a mob of angry Mexicans attacked a Russian man in a Caribbean resort of Cancun with sticks and rocks over his repeated insults against locals. The 42-year-old man was accused of fatally stabbing a youth in a melee, authorities said on Sunday. Apparently, this is a Russian man who was working at a resort in Cancun. He was the diving instructor. But this guy was a Nazi, neo-Nazi, and daily berated his Mexican neighbors. He, and insulted women and children, made lewd comments, cursed at these people, did all types of stuff to the very people he lived around. You understand? So, apparently they had enough, and they went to this guy's house and beat the brakes off of him. The guy had to retreat to the roof of his house where, he was bloody, damn near beaten senseless, and he had to crawl up to the roof of his house, and the police finally came and rescued his punk ass. But his name is Alexei Mikheev, and they were threatening to cut his head off. And if I know the Mexicans, they were dead serious. But I'm mentioning that because black people, that's how you handle these motherfuckers. Okay, everybody else has it right except us. Mexicans have it right. Okay, certain nations overseas have it right. Okay, we say that they're this, that, and the other, but they got it right. They don't stand for this kind of shit. Okay? Black people want to go someplace. We've forgiven or praying. Never doing nothing. We forgiving and praying, never acting.
Right.
Never no action from us. It's almost
and
like
the action is always
cowards.
delayed. The people that you were referencing before, it is immediate. And that's what I always say. It is an immediate consequence to what you're doing. Right. You will immediately see a consequence.
Right. Immediate consequence, not next week, next year, today. So I get my hats off to the Mexicans who treated me very well in Cancun, by the way. My hat goes off to you. In fact, I'm going to give you a strong J. Mexico. Mexico. Right? They beat the brakes off this racist piece of shit. He got his ass whipped. And that's what you should be doing. I'm sorry. That is the answer to that. Not a lot of goddamn praying and singing. Isn't it saying in your very own Bible there's a time? Well, damn it, the time that to start kicking some ass is about now, don't you think? Shit makes me sick to my stomach, Sinead. It makes me sick to my damn stomach. So sick of this shit. Non-action. You know? What you got on any of this, Sinead? I'm sorry. I got to put the mic down for a minute. Black people make me sick.
I feel the same way. I was talking to my daughter's father yesterday, and we was talking about something that he said he witnessed, and he lives in Alabama. And he was telling me about an incident he witnessed, and he said that he was in a restaurant, and I guess by the time he caught up with what was going on, it had already been happening, so he didn't really know what the argument was about. But there's two black women were sitting at one booth, and it was a white man and a white woman sitting at another booth. And they were having words going back and forth for whatever reason. You know, he said people kept on eating and, you know, trying to ignore it. But then whatever this black woman said, he said he didn't hear what she said. He could just hear her talking. The gentleman, the white man, he got up, he slammed his fist on the table and walked, he said, in a brisk manner towards the black women's booth. And he said, he was with his cousin, he said, we immediately got up, we immediately stood up. Right. And before he could finish the story, I just had to say something to him, because immediately when he said that, I said, and you know what? We need more of that. You didn't even know what the fuck was going on, but the fact that he moved aggressively towards two black women, the fact that you automatically stood up, that's what we need. If you're not doing nothing, we ain't doing nothing, but I'm watching you, and I want you to know that there's somebody watching you. You can't approach our women, our children, our elderly. You can't approach another grown man like that. That's unacceptable. And if you decide to do that, we can't stop you. But what I can tell you is you should be prepared for a reaction, immediate reaction and consequence. And if we had more of that, I think we would have more unified black families. I think that a lot of black women who may have lost faith or whatever, their faith will be restored. They will feel protected. They'll want to be led by a man that's protecting them, that's leading them, that's on point, that's paying attention. Because to me, even though we're not together, we still co-parent my daughter. It made me feel good that that's what he did, that he immediately stood up. Because that's what I would want for my daughter. I would want that for my mother, my aunt, and that's where I do agree with you. We do need to mobilize.
It's over.
And start doing stuff, not just talk about it, but do it and have each other's backs.
Right, I'm over it. Seriously, it's enough. And for me personally, on a personal level, it is enough. Honestly speaking, and I'm not gonna speak for me, Jakim, it is enough. And this is a serious statement. It is enough for me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Don't approach me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Ask me a goddamn thing. Seriously. Don't ask me what street this is. Don't at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't even think he asked him something from the story that I read.
He said something to him.
He said for them to step to the left, or if he knew what was good for him, he would step to the left, move out of his way.
I'd have whipped his ass right then and there. You understand what I'm saying?
To me, at that point, all three of them should have rocked him. He was already drunk anyway.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, asking me the time at 3 o'clock in the morning could be hazardous to your health. That's how I'm doing it now. That's how I'm doing it now. That's how I'm rocking now. Okay, because I've had enough. It's enough. It's bullshit. But like I said, in Mexico, they had the right answer. They weren't, and that's another thing too about our people. They weren't trying to you know what I'm saying, the Mexican chicks in the neighborhood weren't trying to give him any Mexican pussy and shit to solve the issue. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, maybe this Mexican pussy will make him act right. No, they whipped that ass. You understand what I'm saying? They whipped that ass.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So we need to get on code and get with the program. All right? Enough is enough with the bullshit. Like, seriously. All right? Because you know what happened? Again, as you can see, non-action is making things worse, actually. Non-action is emboldening your opponent. Non-action is making the situation worse. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I know our black people are very loving deep down. Black people are very loving, and I can see from what's happening, because ain't nothing happening. We just keep talking about prayer. At some point, okay, you're gonna have to act. I mean, again, and I can use your Bible to help you, to show you stories where action had to be done. Shit, David didn't sit there and talk about, okay, I'm gonna pray and Goliath is gonna leave us alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't say that. He said, I'm gonna pray and put my armor on and give me a smooth stone and use a slingshot. I'm gonna bust this guy's head the fuck open and then cut his head off. That's what David did. Okay, that's what faith is. This is not faith. Faith isn't praying and then hiding in the fucking closet, black people. Because that's what we do. I'm gonna have faith in the Lord, and you niggas be hiding underneath your beds. You understand? Hide in the closet. Faith is, all right, I'm going to say this prayer, and then now I got to act. That's what David did, right? This is in your Bible, all right? Samson had faith. I'm going to pray. I'm going to get this jawbone. I'm going to start bashing motherfuckers' heads in. That's in your Bible. He didn't say, I'm going to pray the Philistines away. I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray, I'm going to let God handle it. He didn't do that, okay? This is in your Bible. All right? Enough is enough. You can't pray these people away. You got to do something. You got to act. You got to act. Ridiculous. Like I said, I mean, this is embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing. Anything left on this, and then we can go ahead and move into relationships. But this had to be said.
I don't have anything else on that yet.
All right. We can go ahead. I'm gonna take a look. I have to take a few deep breaths. We'll take a 50-second break and come back for relationships. We'll be right back, y'all. Real talk all the time.
Real Talk Radio. Real Talk on Talk.
100% real. We had over 1,000 listeners. All right. Welcome back into the night. We came out the gate swinging tonight. Very spirited conversation until this point. But we're going to go ahead and change the pace up a little bit. And I'm going to give the floor to Sine. I know we had some discussion, actually some thoughts on relationships. And not as in, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife stuff per
romantic relationship, yeah. Right,
romantic-wise. We had some of the intricate little idiosyncrasies of different types of relationships. And Sine, I'm going to give the floor to you, my sister.
Okay, we're doing Relationship Tuesday, so we decided to explore different types of relationships, and the one that we're focusing on or talking about tonight would be blended families and families that have non-custodial parents, but non-custodial parents that are also absentee parents, because those are not the same thing. Those are not one and the same. The reason why I wanted to bring this to the show tonight is because of a couple of things personal in my personal life that I've experienced, that I've gone through, and I just want to see or get someone else's opinions about how they deal with being in a blended family, or how do you deal with dealing with, like I said, an absentee parent. Just recently, someone passed away in my family, and the father was never active. The child knew who her father was. He has never been active. He's never been kept from her. None of those things. And she did not physically meet him after birth until she was, I think, about 8 or 9. And even in those times when she would see him, every time was not a positive experience. And so it kind of like shattered her dream of what I think she thought would be a relationship with her and this parent. Well, fast forward, these two people that share a child, the child passed away. Now, the issue or some of the questions that were raised by people who know the family, the mother was conflicted about what to write on her daughter's program. I can imagine that would be a hard thing to have to write your child's obituary anyway. But the part that she was conflicted and kept going back in her mind about is, most obituaries will say who survived, like your closest immediate family members. In this case, normally it would be your mother, your father, and siblings. Well, in this case, with this man not having anything to do with this child, and to add nothing to the child, not wisdom, not protection, it's not even about the money, nothing positive, not being a good role model, none of that. And the mother was conflicted about, should I put that she survived by her father, or should I just put me? And then as we were talking about it, she said to me, well, I wasn't going to put her father's name, but I was outvoted. And immediately I felt like, how could you be outvoted? Like, for me, in my head, immediately, that was just impossible. Like, how could you be outvoted? That's your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Right. You've been one of the constants in her life. Like, nobody's word to me should go over her. It's whatever she feels like should be on the program. But she had some family members that said, well, that's still her dad. And that's where the issue lies. And I'm interested to see where men stand on that, where women stand on that. Just how does that work? When is it a point where you say, you know what, they weren't active in this person's life? Do I still acknowledge them? Do I tell them certain shit? Do I consult them about medical shit when they don't even have anything? They don't take anything to do with the child. And I'm talking about money off the board. We're not even talking about child support. We're talking about being actively involved in your child's life with no barriers. So, everybody will come up with, well, what if the mother did this? There were no barriers. Free access to your child. Should the father be acknowledged? Should he have the same rights to grieve and mourn with the mother? Like, how does that go? I'm just interested to see, like, what do you think, Josh? Tell me what you think.
Wow, man. First of all, I just want to say this. I believe that when somebody passes away, it doesn't matter what family it is, man. I've seen it. Somehow or another, that brings out the true disposition and the true colors in people when a person passes away. And also, depending on how they pass away, too, it may even magnify things. But I'm telling you, you see some bitter shit come out when somebody dies. It's like the veil is lifted and people show their ass. So that's the first thing, and this is in every family, and I've seen it happen across the board. Okay, black, white, and otherwise. It's for some reason a death. I don't know, man. It affects people a certain kind of way. Now here's my thing. I think that family should be acknowledged in these situations. So, I know, like, if a father was not that involved or, whatever, I think that if the person wants to come and pay their respects and they were a mother or were a father or even a stepfather, whatever, I think that should be allowed. I think that should happen. Because this is the very last chance. Although they didn't show no love in their life, this is their last chance to maybe say peace or make peace with themselves and with and with the deceased. And you only get one chance to do that. I'm gonna use myself as an example. Now, in terms of extenuating circumstances that happened, but when my mother passed away back in 2012, she passed away right when Sandy happened. So we had the wake, we had the funeral, and the burial was postponed about 4 days. Well, the city was in such a state that it was chaos. So the burial, I didn't get to the official burial. Okay, now this is just the burial. I went to the funeral and everything else, but that finality I didn't get until later on. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of fucked with me. It fucked with me really bad because that's my mother. You understand what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't my fault. It's just that it was just chaotic. I couldn't even get into the city. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It actually enraged me too for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when it comes to a finality like death, I think that if people want to come and pay their respects, I think no matter how you feel personally about that person, I think they should be allowed to come. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Because it does have an effect on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And these things are already nasty. It can be nasty anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, like I said, it brings out the worst in people for some reason. I think that the person should be allowed to come. And that's just my thing. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, what if the person is? Because I can understand that, and the acknowledgement to me. Well, I guess that's a twofold question. I would want to know: do you think that the parent, regardless of whatever their actions was, should be reflected in an obituary or a program?
Okay.
And the second part about it is what would be. Because I will even be honest and say in my situation with my son's father, he has not been active since my son was 6. And God forbid something happened to my son. Like I don't have anything. Like I don't know where he lives. I don't know his telephone number to call him and say something has happened to our son or whatever. But
wow.
I don't think I would bar him from anything, but and I don't think that I would not acknowledge him in the program. However, I would feel some type of way if he came into the service and he made it about himself, which I have seen happen before because the person wants the sympathy instead of being there what they're there for, instead of being, glad that, you was even allowed to be in this space because there's so much tension in the air, and the fact that you would bring attention to yourself, that would cause a problem. And then, these type of things are highly emotional. So all it takes is one look, one word, and the shit jumps off. Nobody wants that at their little one's, funeral. Funeral. Nobody wants that to happen. So when you have a person that's apprehensive about, I would extend the courtesy, but I don't know where this shit is going to go. That, to me, it really is that would be like a hard thing to kind of navigate.
Right.
Because it can really hurt. It can hurt other people's feelings that you may think that they think like you, and they're like, well, no, I don't agree with that. And then you're like, well, what? How could you say that? And you know what I'm saying. It's very touchy. So I just would be interested to hear, different ways to handle that. How can you handle that? Because these type of difficult things do happen. Like, that's real life. I'm sure my family isn't the only one that has experienced something like that. But
absolutely. I tell you honestly. Okay, so one thing I've seen before. Here's an example. Certain antics, like you see, a person didn't really get along with somebody that passed away, and then I've seen this happen. This is literal. This is real now. This is not made up. I've seen people as the casket's being loaded in the ground, they try to get in. They try to go and get in the hole too. And the person, and the person didn't even like you like that, and they didn't like you like that. See that shit like that,
right.
the theatrics that sometimes people pull at funerals are something else, and we got to pull you up off the casket now, and you done pulled out your own wig and everything like that.
Yeah,
and, you know what I'm saying? You done flung your hat. You know how the sisters wear their black hats with the veil in the front. And you done took your hat off and then thrown it across the room, and you done fell the fuck out. And the person that's in the casket never liked your ass. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Yeah, people perform at these events, and you're like, we don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need none of that at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna pay your respects and stuff like that. And then I've had people like, I'm not gonna mention no names, but I had somebody at my father's funeral get up there and talk about how much they loved him, and he couldn't stand them. So you know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, okay. And and my father was the type of person where you knew if he didn't like you, and so I know you didn't. I know you knew my pops wasn't feeling you. But, you got up there and said what you said, so it's okay. Whatever, And you know what? We all looked at each other later on and was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And there was no incident. We let them go through their imaginary whatever they were doing and, whatever, So it is what it is. But they, you get a lot of, there's a lot of raw emotions that come out at these things. And, but again, it's difficult because ultimately, the person that you're dealing with when
right.
that and listen, you may even have to tell the person, pull them to the side, say, look, man, we gonna come to the funeral and everything, but we gonna we ain't gonna have no right. We shouldn't
have to do stuff like that, but
right.
yeah,
you should not. No, you should not have to do that. But for some people, they need that reminder. Now, look, we're not gonna have no shit out here, right? And stop them at the door as they come. If you feel that somebody's gonna come there, maybe be at the door. You know how these have the chapel. You stand at the door where the book is at, and as they sign the book, like, hey, brother, so and so, let me holler at you real quick, and take them outside and say, look, now, and you can do it like this. I'm glad you came. We appreciate you coming. However, okay, we ain't gonna have, X, Y, Z, and that's it.
No,
and
no shenanigans.
Yeah, and they know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? I've been to funerals where cats done had, like all their lovers at the funeral at the same time, and that's crazy.
My mom. I grew up hearing my grandmama and my mom and aunts always say, you will always find the truth out when someone is born, when someone dies, or when someone is incarcerated. Yeah. That's when all the shit comes out. Yeah. And it's true. It is absolutely true.
Right. The dude that had five or six lovers at the funeral at the same time. You know what I'm saying? and what happens is as each one walks up to the casket, they trying to outdo each other. You know what I'm saying? One then get down and she's going to kiss him on the forehead. The other one going to kiss him on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? The other one be like, oh, Lord, Johnny! You know what I'm saying? And the real girl is like, well, who the fuck is this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just crazy. I got a caller here. I'm going to bring this caller in. Caller from 1640. 1640, you're live on Real Talk all the time. What's your name? Are you calling from, please?
Hey, guys. It's me.
Hey,
all
right.
You weren't paying attention in our chat, Joe. I was pressing 1.
No, man. I was, at the helm here. You know what I'm saying? What's happening?
Nothing much. And I have another take on that because I've had this happen. Well, I know family members where, that's fine. You want to, that person hasn't been in that person's life. Yeah, you acknowledge them, the obituary, but then for that person to come in and try and dictate how things are going to get done or what should be done or what shouldn't be done.
Right.
Yeah, like, you know what? Stay in your lane because all throughout this person's life you weren't there.
Right.
And now you want to make your presence known or to have some type of authority as to what goes on in the final, in final plannings, or this should be done, or this shouldn't be done. No, stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy that you are even, we're not petty enough to not let you even walk through the door to say your goodbyes.
Right.
Right.
But don't get, because I've seen it personally, people getting belligerent about, no, this needs to be done and that needs to be done and we should be doing this and we should be doing this and how come this wasn't done? Well, where the hell were you these past the years of this person's life? Now in death, you don't get to dictate what happens.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Be happy
absolutely.
that you were, everybody grieves in their own way. Be happy that we even told you that this person passed, or we're letting you know when everything is taking place. But some people don't know when to stay in their lanes.
Right.
And
You're
it is what it is. You weren't there. You were a piece of shit while the person was alive.
Exactly.
Don't try, and then like you said, a lot of people do it to get more attention drawn to them, for people to feel more sorry for them. Oh, his daughter or his father such and such passed away, and this, that, and the other. No, you were a piece of shit when that person was alive.
That's
and
right.
you ain't want to have nothing to do with. You know what? Now, sorry, but not sorry. You live with your regrets. You should have been a better person to that person while they were alive.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue with that one, April. They definitely. And
that's in that case, though. That's where I think a lot of things, it can really blow up and spread amongst the family, the relationship. Because I feel like in a situation like that, the person who is left to handle all of these things or whatever, they should, to me, have buffers. They should have people around them that stop some bullshit from even coming to them. They're already going through enough stuff. They need buffers. But what happens is when the buffer is trying to tell cousin so-and-so or auntie so-and-so, look, this is the way they said they want it done. Don't bring that shit to her. Now you and this person got beef because they like, okay, you don't speak for this person. You know what I'm saying? It can spread and just get so crazy so quickly. So it's like before that happens, I don't know how people would kind of like have that conversation, but I do feel like that may be another conversation that families need to have. Like, what do you want to happen when if we survive you? Like, we really need to like start doing that, because even when you don't do that, it causes so much drama, because all the person can say, well, they told me that they wanted this and this and that. And it's your word against the other. You know, it shouldn't be where people are trying to figure out. I think, like, my grandfather and my grandmother, they were, like, perfect examples for me. My grandfather died when I was 16. He died of cancer. But even at that early age, he still had shit set out. My grandmother, like, her lifestyle did not change. The way they lived and whatever she needed, she still was able to have it. Both of them worked. But they planned everything. They were planners. My grandmother has literally everything planned, because she has said to all of us, I don't want people to have to make decisions. I don't want people to have to think, oh, you chose this because you think you're the favorite, or whatever it is. Everything is written down, like even to what she wants to wear, what color she wants to wear, what she wants sung at her funeral, like everything. And I know, like, with my brother, he doesn't like to talk about stuff like that. He's like, oh, God, I don't want to talk about it. But for me, it helps me, and it's healthy for me to talk about things like that, so that I'm kind of like on autopilot when it happens. Those are things that I don't even have to think about, because I'm in mourning. I could just go to this paper and say, okay, this is what they wanted. This is what I'm doing. You don't have to think about it so much. And then if somebody attacks what you're doing, you can say, look, I'm doing what I was told to do. This is not of my own accord. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me would keep down a lot of things. But I think
that's
people
true,
find it difficult
my mother
when they
had
have
that
younger
discussion.
children.
Yeah, my mother had the discussion with us. She told me what she wanted and what my stepfather wanted, and I had that discussion with my father as well, too. So I already know my mother was like, me and your stepfather, we want to be cremated. I don't want the whole pomp and circumstance. I don't want people looking at me. She's like, and please don't print out none of those damn prayer cards and all that shit because people just toss that shit aside anyway. So don't take no pictures. She already told me what she wanted.
I hear you.
You know, like the little memorial cards and Love and Remember with the prayer. She's like, I don't want those because she's like, she's like, I know, I get them. I look at them for a minute and they put them aside. You know, and she's like, I don't want none of that. We're gonna keep it simple. This is where I want to be buried. This is where cremated. She's like, y'all can split my ashes amongst y'all or do whatever, but these are specific. She's like, I'm telling you, because I already know. I have certain people in my family that will try and take over.
Yeah.
Take over the details, but she was like, I let them know as well, too. This is what is going to happen. Don't worry about my children got this.
Right.
And she's like, you have my permission to stick a foot in this person's ass or whatever in the afterlife if they try and cross those boundaries.
I hear you. Well, I
you're
tell
right.
you what.
Yes, you have to have that discussion. This is what I want, and this is what, just to alleviate all the foolishness.
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, like I said, the worst comes out, and I got another call here I'm going to go ahead and bring in. But I've seen people argue, like, say, the person who passed away had a very exquisite clothing line. They had clothes that were, and shoes and stuff like that. I've seen family members stop talking because I know Aunt so-and-so wanted me to have that pair of shoes or that bag or this dress. And I've seen people stop talking. It's horrible. I'm telling you, the funerals bring out the shenanigans. I'm going to bring this call in real quick. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I can one up you. My mother even give specific instructions. Or, yes, if that person all of a sudden decides to come out the house, I want you to follow that person around because I haven't seen that person. The last time I saw that person, they stole.
Okay. All right. Yep. That's fair.
Instructions like that.
Exactly. I got this caller here. You live. 3704. 3704, you live. What's your name? Are you calling from, please? 3704 is your last four. And you are live on Real Talk all the time. 370.
This is Holla.
My brother Holla. All right.
Calling from Brooklyn.
My man Holla. What's going on, brother?
Hey, brother Holla.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right. We talking about.
I just tuned in, so I was like, wait, they're talking about funerals? What's going on?
Well, go ahead and break it down, Sine. We're talking about family relationships and certain circumstances and how it brings out the worst in people, especially around funerals. And how people act the fool. But go ahead, Sine, break it down real quick for Brother Hollop there.
We were just talking about how can you navigate through difficult situations like that. Like if God forbid a child dies and one of the parents is an absentee parent, has had nothing to do in this child's life, but should that parent be acknowledged in a obituary? Should that parent be able to sit in the front next to the mother or the father that was there raising the child? Like, how do you navigate that, especially when you have people in the family? Some say, well, yeah, he still should be acknowledged, or she should still be acknowledged. That was their parent, their biological parent. And then you have some family members saying, no, fuck that. They couldn't even tell me their favorite color if I asked them.
Right.
So it's a difficult situation. So we were just discussing how would you go about that? What do you think about that? How would you handle that? So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that particular situation would be difficult because who's going to make the final decision, Because it's really all dependent upon that person. And in that circumstance, like if a child passes, then that parent would be the one to make that decision. So it all depends on how they're feeling about it.
Right.
You can do it. Both sides make a good point. Like it is the biological, but on the other hand, that person was absentee, so they don't know anything about the child.
Mm-hmm.
So they both make a point, but like the ultimate decision would have to be made by this surviving parent.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Right, absolutely.
And you're right about the funeral thing, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
it's like
it brings out
one
the
of the
worst.
things that I notice about funerals is that nobody seems like if someone is experiencing the loss, no one seems to be that concerned about them. They're more concerned about themselves. It's like that's when it comes like with family members.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it's so crazy. It's like they're so self-indulged with what their feelings is. They don't have the time to look out for the person who's actually experiencing the loss. I noticed that's how it's been in my experience when it comes to family.
Absolutely. Like I don't know if you caught that or not, but I just mentioned I watched people jump in like as the casket's being lowered in the ground. You know, the theatrics start with some people. Like I've had people jump on top of the casket as it's being lowered. You know, come get your aunt, get Aunt Hattie off the top of there, please. Go grab your aunt, grab your aunt. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody, you know, acting a fool so much that the wig come off. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't like you ain't never had nothing good to say about this person. Now suddenly you roll around on the floor like you've been afflicted or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Just things that are just wildly inappropriate and just like I'll give you an example without throwing anybody under the bus because nobody knows my family. When my mom passed, and this was like 2 years ago, my aunt said, you know, to my brother, I've known she was my sister longer than she was your mother. And I spoke to my aunt about that. I said, do you not understand how that sounds? Like, what are you saying when you say that?
Right.
Like, what is it, the competition?
Right, and for what? What was the purpose of that statement?
Yeah, what's the purpose of saying? In her mind, what she was saying is, well, I just wanted to let him know that I'm experiencing pain too. I said, then why not just say that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Say that. Don't say, oh, she was my sister longer than she was your mother. Yeah, and what does that mean?
Right. What do I do with that?
Man.
What do I do with that?
But that can only happen when you're thinking more about yourself than you are about the person experiencing the loss.
Right. Absolutely. I think I got Big Brother R back up here. Hey, 610 Big Brother R, is that you again? 6103, you're live.
Yeah, brother, what's going on, H?
All right.
Yo, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing?
All right. Who is this?
I'm your brother from another mother.
Oh, what's up, Mike? Okay, I'm sorry.
Long time,
what's up, Mike?
Oh, I thought that was R. Okay.
No. That's my brother. That's my brother, Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I was trying to slow it down because you had like 3 different conversations going on with it. But I just logged in here because I was listening to this on my way home.
Okay.
And I get the feelings. I understand exactly what you're saying because I went through that. Personally went through that.
Right.
When they're saying about people coming in and trying to take over.
Yes.
Consider the people who are always around and always trying to orchestrate things and make it seem as though they are the ones who have done so much when in actuality they are the detriment of the situation being what it is.
Right.
Okay? You got people that come in there and want to take over, like you said, the ones that have never left home, the ones who want to pretend that they're so concerned until the person passes away and you see the nasty, greedy, selfish, inconsiderate people come out. You see? I know what you're talking about with the funerals and people come there who want to show out.
Oh, yeah.
I was at my own mother's funeral. I was at my own mother's funeral. And everybody was walking around weeping and lamenting and going through all those changes, and I stood there when it was all done. Everybody started trying to chastise me because I wasn't crying and falling out.
Right.
I said, guess what? The day she was in the hospital last time I saw her, I was the only one standing there concerned about it because I was the only one crying about her health condition. Everybody else was considering it's not affecting me.
Right.
No consideration whatsoever, and then want me to feel grief the way they do. I said, you have no idea what I feel.
Right.
You can't begin to know.
Yeah, you definitely can't gauge by that.
If you knew what I knew about her, you would know that where she is right now is a better place because she was a butterfly that had to fly, and if she didn't have her wings, then there was no point in her being alive.
Right.
If you didn't know that about her, then you don't know her, and you don't know me either.
There you go.
And just think about that.
You know what your mother and my mother-in-law, you and all them did. How they ran the streets and ran the thickest thieves.
Right, exactly.
Can you imagine any one of them had their hands or their feet tied where they couldn't move around? What kind of misery that is? That's worse than solitary or incarceration.
And think about the mindset of a person who's sitting there asking somebody, "Oh, why you ain't crying?" Like, why don't you mind your damn business?
Mind your business. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
You got time in your lane.
How they felt and what was going on with them. I expressed my sentiment, and and I moved on. I love my mother dearly. I will miss her. I will never forget her, and that was all I had to say about it. They were asked about what to say or play at her funeral, and I said, Crystal Stair. Life for me ain't been no Crystal Stair. They didn't want that. They want some Amazing Grace from Jesus says something. I was like, listen, this
that's not what she wanted.
Because exactly. I'm born and raised in Hebrew. My mother should not even have a Christian service because that's not what she left here as.
And see, that's another thing too. Faith. Like now, what happens is towards now this is valid. How about this? If a person changed their belief system during their adulthood, right? Okay, and wishes to be buried, let's say, spiritually and non-denominational, it's completely spiritual.
Exactly.
What
or
happens
as the latest denomination they believe in?
Right, exactly. So what happens then?
They decide to convert from Judaism to Catholicism, from Catholicism to Islam. And that's the religion that they are practicing. What is the problem with them being buried as they saw fit? Because you raised them as a Christian.
So what happens then? So now you got incidents. Now you got arguments and stuff like that. But like April said a few minutes ago before you clicked in, is that at some point, being that we're supposed to be dealing with adults when it comes to stuff like that, we have to start putting out stuff in writing. Maybe listen, this is what I want. And putting it out there. And you know what? It should be a little bit easier now because you have, you got email,
internet,
everything can be printed up. Everybody, it can be printed up, and things like that. So, I'm sorry, excuse me. So
now,
it should be a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been easy. The problem is a lot of people deny it and figure, I'll take care of it when the time comes. My father passed away without a will, with over $2.5 million in property.
Oh my goodness! See now that's a whole.
They're fighting over it. And when I said, give me the ability and the authority to go and research this stuff, because I'm the one who will do things like that. I'm internet savvy. I will take the time and energy to do it because I'm not wrapped up in this bullshit out here. Collect his assets without the ability to buy, sell, trade, or anything, only to categorize and calculate his assets to find out what we're going to do next, how we're going to use his properties properly. Turned around and went down to the court and lied to them. The court says you can go and file for a what they call a simple power of attorney if there's less than $30,000 in assets. One of my family members went down there and told the people that he only had $30,000 in assets and tried to get power of attorney until they went and looked in the property records and found he had a $500,000 house.
Oh my goodness! See, that's what I'm saying.
Now the court does not want to address anything with anyone. They now want us to go hire an attorney. Now everybody's complaining why we got to pay an attorney 30% of his property. That's because you fucked it up when I told you to do it right. We didn't need lawyers.
That happens.
We need a lawyer that's the problem. To go in the court and finalize the paperwork because everybody was so busy worrying about what they were doing, opposed to doing it right.
Let me jump in
somebody thinking they were smarter than the average bear.
Right.
Exactly.
Let me say this real quick.
I said, I don't want anything he has. I just want to make sure that it's done properly so that his energy, time, and effort weren't wasted over the last 30 years.
Right.
Because the city, state, and government will grab as much as they can.
Yep. They sure will.
The same thing happened, Mike, with my father's mother passed away. Everybody was arguing about the house. My pop was saying, look, we're going to have to sell the house because that's going to take care of the exuberant medical costs and everything else. Nope, they was arguing, fighting, and scratching and screaming. Like I said, unfortunately, funerals bring out the worst. If somebody has an inkling that you had something,
you have any money.
Okay, from a house to a pair of damn gator shoes, we're going to fight about it.
They went and raided the state controller's office. They raided his bank accounts, the safe he had in the house, everything. They put their hands on, they grabbed.
That's horrible.
You know what I told him?
That's a horror story.
I don't give a shit about any of this. The last thing I said to my father, and this is how things, to show you how things really are supposed to be and how they work out. While he was alive, I said, listen, don't leave my name attached to anything. I'm done with this. When you're gone, that's it for me. They can be adults or they can be children, but it's not going to be part of my life.
Wow.
If you do anything, I ask that you either sell me the stock I have or give it to me as my inheritance now so I can show you what I'm going to do, because I would take that money and liquidate and started buying up properties and opening businesses like I lost my mind.
Right.
Okay? They held on to that stock till he passed away.
Wow.
Came to me and told me they couldn't cash it because they had bank accounts and debts, and they were going to take the money from them, so I should cash it out.
Oh,
They gave it to me. No, here's the crazy part. They told me, fill out this paper, and we'll send it in together, and they'll send the money back. They gave me 3 pages. At the bottom, it always says page 1 of 7, page 1 of 3, page 1 of 5. I got 3 pages of 7. When I called to ask why, the only pages that they sent me was the information page and the page that was my signature guarantee from the bank.
Right.
They sent me the whole package. I filled out the papers and sent it back. They sent me all the stock. Now everybody's up in my face. They want their share. I said, you live in a $500,000 house that you want me to help you pay for. I said, here's an example. Here are the keys to this truck. You don't get to drive it. You get to look at the keys every day. You got to put the gas in it. You got to put the oil in it. Check it. You got to do the maintenance on it. You got to pay the car note, but you don't get to drive it. That's how I feel about this house. Everybody's living it. Everybody's enjoying it, except for me. But you want me to help you maintain it.
Yeah, that sounds
the stock
about
wound
right.
up in my hand, and everybody wanted me to give them 25% of the stock. I said, I'm not giving you 25% of anything because 25% of that money is taxes.
Right.
So we will be splitting $75,000, but we will not be splitting $100 and leaving me with the taxes.
Wow.
Because if I got to pay the taxes on it, I'm spending that whole bitch by myself.
By myself.
You see what happens though?
I took that money and paid my daughter's college tuition, and everybody ran around in circles talking about me, I, why we need. I said, too bad. You all get together and figure out what the fuck to do, because I'm out the deal now.
Wow.
And if I get nothing out of it, I really don't care, because I didn't work for it.
Right.
I'm not losing anything. I got people
telling
me you should go and fight it because you're owed that. I said, I am not owed a damn thing except the breath that God gave me and a place to die.
That's it. I tell you.
That's it. I taught my children what I need for them to know and got them started, and they can come to me for help. And I got my plan set out where if anything happens to me, I told them, hide the body for at least 7 years. I'm direct depositing my money into their accounts when I retire, and I'll call them when I need money and have them transfer it back to me. I'm going out somewhere. And when they do find me, they got to wait at least 7 years after I disappear in order to claim me dead. They got to keep paying that money until then.
I hear you.
And if that don't work out for me, I'm going to go find me somebody out there. I know a young lady right now, 22 years old, taking care of 2 of her abandoned niece and nephew. I told her I want to adopt them. She said, what? I said, I want to adopt them, only on paper. So if anything happens to me, they get my Social Security and my benefits because my kids are too old for it.
Wow.
That's the way we're supposed to be thinking. Pass that shit on if you can't use it. If I die next week, nothing comes of it. My children won't even get anything but my death benefits. That's $50,000 and my insurance policy.
You know what?
Family members tell me, put their names on my insurance policy in case something happens to me that they can take care of me. I said, no, my children know exactly what to do with the money that they get because I showed them from 8 and 9 years old how to handle money. They know exactly what's going on because I've been talking to them about it. I do not need you to tell me to leave my insurance policy in your name. Oh, well, they're old enough now. They can work and they got time to build a pension and put money in the bank and all that. I could use it for my retirement because I don't have no retirement because I ain't worked in 40 fucking years.
You know what's so interesting about that? Mike, let me say this real quick, and I just want to jump in here, guys. The interesting thing about this is that across the board, this is something Chris Rock said in one of his stand-ups, black people don't deal in wealth so that we don't have shit to leave to nobody.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So, not for nothing, where's our legacy end? We're like, honestly, when we go, we don't leave a legacy. That's the difference between, the dominant society and us. A lot of us, and I'm glad you said that you taught your kids from young how to deal with money. A lot of people, never knew how to deal with money or how to create wealth and pass that on to be used usefully. That's we could do a whole damn show on that alone. In fact, not for nothing, while I'm talking about it, next week I got Brother Yerima Karama that's going to talk to us about building black wealth. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Holla, I want you to call in next week if possible, because we're going to be talking about stuff that's kind of in the range of nationhood. We're going to be talking about building wealth, business, and getting rid of debt. That's something else that we seem to not know how to do with. Yeah, mentoring. Financial mentoring. But dealing with debt is another thing that we don't know how to deal with. Just because somebody offers you a $10,000 credit card doesn't mean you should run that shit up to $10,000 damn dollars. You know, shit. I was an adult a long time before I found out about what good debt and bad debt was. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, but this is stuff that we need to be talking about. But
can I add to that comment,
that
statement? When you're done, I want to add to that statement.
Okay, sure. But not for nothing. This goes back to what Sine was saying. About situations with help me out here, Sine.
What
part? From a family argument?
With the family or the parents or
yes, with the family arguments. A lot of times it revolves around money. You understand what I'm saying? If anybody thinks you got anything, it could be like control. I said. Yeah, we got a problem now. You understand? We got a problem. I often said that and this might be off topic, but I often said if I ever hit the Powerball, I'm going to hit certain people off, and they're going to be hit off nicely. And if you decide to sniff $5 million worth of money in cocaine, well, that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But if I drop 5 on you, that's it, baby. You got to get your crotch surgery done, whatever else. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think in that manner, rather than giving them the money, I would say to them, I need you to go get me your credit profile and pay off all their debts and walk away. Now you starting fresh.
Okay, well, I'm giving you
a fresh start.
That's another one.
I'm giving you a fresh start because people will fuck up the money and be right back in the same spot and come back to you, ask you to fix it again.
Right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead real quick because we run out of time, and I don't want to cut anybody off. But let's reel us back in just a little bit to the relationship part of this situation, the dynamic of relationships when it comes to a situation though like a death. So now go ahead and give it back to you, and then we're going to go down the line again, and then we'll take it up out of here.
Well, I think we kind of covered that, what happens or what we think the person should do in death. But what about when you have blended families? And what I mean by that is where two people have had a child or more than one child, and they're no longer together, and they have both split and have relationships with other people. And say these children, they still, and the parents want to still be present for birthday parties, but it may be one party that has some tension in the air, or this one doesn't want to be around this one, that sort of thing. Like, how do you get to a point where even if these people, the men or the women, don't like each other, what do you think would be the best way for the child to be able to experience what it's like to have a positive relationship where they're looking at all of their parents, meaning their step parents and their natural parents, without it being drama? Do you think that can be possible when you have someone who's like, I don't want to be around that person, or I don't like that person? How do you fix that or remedy that? How would you attack that?
I'll tell you what. Hollop, do you want to get on that one?
I haven't the slightest clue.
May I?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Go ahead, Brian.
Quickly. I watched the movie, and in the movie, two separated parents were supposed to go to their child's wedding. They were so busy arguing, one of the sons had to go and say, listen, all you have to do is be in the same room for 12 hours. You don't have to look at each other or speak with each other, and make it a stipulation. If you do, you will get ejected.
Boom.
That ends that. And
there you
stand
go.
to it. See, the last 5 years after Hurricane Sandy, that got me to.
But what if it is a parent?
You can't pull punches.
But what if it is, if you give an ultimatum like that, and the person that you're giving the ultimatum to, that's your mate, are you supposed to miss out on your own child's, it could be a program they're doing in school, birthday party, whatever, because this person, should you just walk and leave with your mate, or do you stay? Like, still, how do you navigate that?
No,
because
I'm
seeing
saying
that happen both
people
ways.
know who may be a problem to let them know that is going to be a bigger problem if they come in and disrupt this affair, and there's enough people in there that will stop that from happening. You can stand at the door and watch, but you will get carried out if you walk in here and wreck my daughter's wedding because you decide you got a beef with me. Let's take it outside.
Yeah, but those are adults. Those are adults. What I'm talking about is people with young children. That you're going to have to interact in a more intimate setting. Even if the person isn't disruptive, children are very aware. If somebody's sitting in a corner with an attitude with their arms crossed, people can still see that. Kids can still see that. So how would you handle something like that? I mean, I've seen that happen.
No clue.
I say like I tell my children when they say, "Daddy, I think you're going to be mad at me." I said, "Yeah, I might be, but I'll get over it." That's how you got to keep it. I'll get over it. They want to sit in the corner and pout and look like they got a mean mug on them. Let them do it. And let everybody know when he come in the door and start acting up, oh, Lord, here it goes. They're going to see everybody watching them. They're going to check that behavior.
I'm so
thankful
that
look mom used to give you when you misbehaved?
Yeah.
I know that look. I know how to use it. I'll look at you across the room and say, you don't want me to come over there, do you?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm so glad that I never had that situations like that. I'm blessed that I never had that because
right.
I just first of all I never really wanted it, and then I'm such I'm a ultra private person when it comes to my private life. So if I feel that it's going to be that, you ain't even coming. Like seriously, you're not coming.
That's what I was saying.
And honestly, I don't have to listen. And you know what? You know why you
have no hurt feelings about it.
Right.
And have no hurt feelings about it.
But the person that's not invited know why they're not coming. You know why you're not going to be in here. So I don't have there's no explanation. You cut up. You like to act up, as they say. You like to turn up, as they say, at the expense.
And start showing your ass to everybody.
Exactly. You're not going to turn up here. Not for this. Like not for no birthday party, not for no wedding, not for a graduation. You know
come in there, act stupid, and start drinking, get drunk, and get belligerent, and start, I was drunk, I was acting like that. You know you're a drunkard. Stay the hell out. Well, don't drink.
Exactly. Exactly. So you got to protect these situations. I'm sorry, these events that mean something to you and your immediate loved ones, you have to protect them. You have to protect them.
Yep.
All right. Not for nothing. Perfect example. And I hate to even go there, but I'm gonna use them as an example. You mess around as a photographer and F up a white person's wedding and see what happens. Your ass is getting sued.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
And the pictures they have, they like, they're gonna keep and they're gonna be free.
Exactly. But your ass is getting sued. You done ruined somebody's life event. You understand what I'm saying? But black people, we play around with shit. We play around with life events. Oh, it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We play around with life events. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Miss all the milestones.
Yeah, so now you got to protect this like it's gold because it is. This is your moment. You know what I'm saying? But now we allow all types of shit to happen at our moments. So like, oh damn, really? You know, nah, And you know, and deep down, you know who's gonna act the fool. You already know. You know. But what happens is we roll the dice. On that. We roll the dice.
When I see situations like that, especially with younger people, what I find is that either one of two things have happened. The person who is in the middle, the person who has the current girlfriend or boyfriend who has a goddamn problem, and they have a child with another person that does not necessarily have an issue or whatever. One or two things happen. For me, I am of the opinion, if me and you are together and there's a problem with your people, that's for you to discuss. I should not be arguing with your goddamn people. The same way I wouldn't have my person that I'm connected to arguing with someone that I have children with. That's for me to address. I feel like that is the issue sometimes when a person is being weak and won't just stand up and say, look, this is the way it is. And if you don't like it, not only do you not need to be at this birthday party or whatever, but that's probably a person you shouldn't even be in a relationship with because the child is not going anywhere and the other parent is connected to the child. Like, that's going to happen. There's going to be some interaction. On the other hand, though, which I've seen and I have experienced with my ex-husband, he was the type of dude that me and him are cool. We don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with his girlfriend. But you say slick shit to me every time I'm dropping my son off. So that can be a problem because had I entertained that,
who's doing that? The girlfriend or him?
Like, without a doubt, that would go on.
Is that the girlfriend or him doing the slick take?
No, I'm saying him. And when I drop my son off, every time I drop my son off, you know, oh, you looking good today. Oh, you know, some slick shit that you always got to say. And that can be a problem, too, because if the person is playing the middle and entertaining both, and then next thing you know, everybody is in the melee fighting at Chuck E. Cheese because you find out both of y'all are with it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, like I'll tell you what. Can I jump in real quick? Because we run out of time. We got 15 minutes left. Let me say this. My father was to say this: clean break, son. Clean break.
Yep.
So honestly speaking,
less than a year if it's over after it's done.
Yeah, if you make a clean break, you don't detain anything else. You understand what I'm saying? So your conscience is clear. If there's a clean break made, your conscience is clear because they may try, and you know what? And they can try because you can't control people. But now your response to that is, you understand what I'm saying? So, and once you shut it down the first time, they're not, unless they just, you know, this crazy like that. Then some people are stupid and then slow to learn. But 9 times out of 10, they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop. You know? So, you know, and then you can move on to other things. You know, but yeah, clean break. You know, yeah, we could be cool.
On that note,
civil.
Yeah. On that note, I have 2 children with a woman who I met back in 1985, 86. Right? We lived together for 5 years. 2 married proposals didn't want to marry me. No problem. We had 2 kids. I stayed around, stuck around, hung in there, fought, fight with her for 15 years in family court. Now, every time they have some kind of family function, they invite me as though I'm family. And they keep pressing me to come, but when I get there, I get this battle like, well, when are y'all getting back together? I said, it's been 15 damn years. Are you crazy?
Right, exactly. That ship is stale.
We know less about each other in 15 years than we did in 5 years knowing each other. And I go there, and I'm cordial. I see her, I say hi, and I keep walking.
Right.
If she addresses me in reference to our children, I respond. Other than that, there's nothing we have to talk about.
Right.
But you have some people who keep testing you.
Right.
She just discovered where I worked at the other day and came wandering through there smirking at me like she thought she was going to be cute and I was going to say something to her because nobody else was around. That shit ain't changed. I didn't want to talk to you when I was sitting in your parents' house. I don't want to talk to you sitting in the office.
Right.
Okay?
But see, but you have
now. We have nothing to say to each other.
Right. But it's up to
But you have some people that are
you.
going to continue to try that.
Exactly. But it's up to you as the individual on the receiving end of this shit to nip that in the bud. You know? So, you know, it's all up to the individual. Let's go ahead down the line here, Shanae. It's 9:17. We're running down on time. Let's get some closing arguments, and not closing arguments like this is a court case. My bad. You know what? I'm thinking about this damn case with this Shelby lady. So I'm sorry. That case pisses me off so bad. So I'm thinking about court.
Has anybody got any outcome or any feedback on this thing that happened with this guy that stabbed the military kid?
I talked about that. I tell you what, I did talk about that earlier in the segment. In fact, I wish Hollop and you would have been on earlier. I spoke about that. This kid apparently is a part of this Facebook group called the Alt-Reich. That's R-E-I-C-H, not right. So
that's what I got. But what I'm trying to figure out is have they gave a definition, a reason other than the fact that he's this neo-Nazi, the reason why he stabbed this guy?
No, they're just saying that it might be alcohol involved. That's all they're saying.
Well, they're because they're trying to say
that's what I said. Yep, okay. They're trying to find a reason to get him off.
Right, exactly. And I wish you two brothers would have, because you guys are heavy hitters when it comes to that. I wish you guys would have been on earlier when I jumped in on that. But I tell you what, if you have a comment, I'll give you guys 90 seconds. Holla, you got any comment on that stabbing?
No, I didn't really get into it.
Okay.
I don't know too much about it.
Fair enough. What is the brother, military brother that was stabbed by a neo-Nazi at the University of Maryland. He was supposed to graduate today. Exemplary.
Bowie University.
Bowie University.
I know somebody that goes there.
Exemplary student. Dude stabbed him because he's white, and he felt like he could do that, basically. And here's the thing with that. He had a white dude and an Asian dude with him. Not for nothing. If I got two people standing there and I get stabbed, okay, I'm stabbed. Somebody better beat the brakes off this cat at that point. That never happened. You understand? So I have a problem with that. Yeah,
the whole world is complicit. I've been saying that for 25 years. The whole world is complicit.
Yeah, he's dead, Holla. He's dead. The brother died, man. He's supposed to graduate today. He's dead. Stabbed to death. Another brother stabbed to death. So you had the gentleman in Manhattan that was stabbed to death by a white supremacist who wanted to kill someone, and now you had another one. So, I guess I'll reiterate what I said earlier. At this point, and this happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? He said some slick shit to this brother, like if you know what's good for you, you better step to the left. At that point, okay, I'm closing the distance on you, and I'm gonna give it your program right then and there, because that is a aggressive type of speech. So apparently the brother,
I'm not gonna allow you to live.
Exactly. So the brother said no or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, it wasn't the appropriate response, and the guy lunged at him, stabbed him. Honestly,
so he was prepared to do that. That saying something to him was an excuse for him to lunge.
Exactly. So this is my thing, Mike Hollip. This is my thing. If you ask me the time at 3 o'clock in the morning, at this point, if you one of them, I'm dealing with you. If you ask me the time. Because you know what? We ain't got nothing to talk about at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm passing you passing me. There's nothing to talk about at 3 o'clock in the morning, dog. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be belligerent. I'm just saying that at this point, the time we're living in right now, you don't mean me no good at 3 o'clock in the morning approaching me, asking me some crazy shit. And we have to get out of that mindset. This is chess, not checkers. You understand? This is ridiculous. And again, I'm saying you got two dudes with you. How they wasn't whipping his ass until the cops came. Honestly, by the time the campus police got there, they shouldn't have been able to recognize the dude. Like we need to do a dental exam to identify your ass at this point. You understand? So that's where I'm at with it, and I know that's raw emotion, but I'm sorry, man. No. We've had several lynchings since January, several outright murders. It's just ridiculous, and there's no response. The proper response is not being given.
That happened down in Maryland. In Maryland. Isn't in Maryland?
Yeah, that's in Maryland. So the proper response
what are they going to do if the police do arrive and see the circumstances?
Right. So my thing is this, I got to ask you, brother, at this point, man, what we doing as black people? I know, and I'm about nationhood, but when it comes to situations like this, when you have people now targeting you, because now we're being targeted, we got to start responding a certain kind of way, bro. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, Hollip. Let me get Hollip, and then I'll get you, Mike, real quick, and we're going to close out.
Well, I look at it like this. United States, right? They love fossil fuel. So what do? They go over into the Middle East. They meddle in other people's governments and try to manipulate things so that they can get good deals on oil. Now, what's the unintended consequences of that? Terrorism.
Right.
Occasionally, you get your shit blown up. They're willing to deal with that terrorism just so they can have the fossil fuel.
Right.
And they do it because they know they're going to be collateral damage and in the wrong places. They are not putting themselves in a position to be hurt by it.
Black people have a similar thing that they do with America. Black people love America so much that they're willing to deal with all the unintended consequences of being in America, meaning being targeted, being treated like a second and third class citizen, being killed by the police, all of that stuff that comes with it, they're willing to deal with because they love America so much.
Excuse me. You're right.
So the question is, how much shit are we willing to deal with before we start doing what we need to do, which is get the fuck out of this place and get our own shit.
Okay.
So until people start talking that, hey, my thing is, if you want to stay here and if you feel that this is your land, then you deal with all that comes with it. Me, I have no intention of being here. My future is to be out of this country.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's just me personally.
Fair enough. Mike, go ahead, brother. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to get the
last word on
it
this.
out.
I mentioned this before. I sent you a text message about that. There was a movie on television where they cleaned this neighborhood out by putting iridescent black light paint on the top of cars to track those fools that was coming through their neighborhood causing problems. Track them from the rooftops. We need alert patrol. Start tagging these clowns and tagging them for catching them later. Don't say nothing to them. Let them do what they're doing. You see it happening, don't say a word to him. Track that bastard back to his lair. Wait for him to come back out. Learn his habits until you realize what you can do and when you can do and where you can do. And then ghost on.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because I think we need to do a revisitation as a community of the spook that sat by the door. If anybody remembers that movie and that book back in the days, until we can pull up out of here, as we say in the military, until we can, we may have to do a fighting retreat, if you will. Yeah, a hot evac up out of here. But while that's happening, you're still rocking and rolling until you can do an evac. You may have to adopt that mentality. You know,
I have it already.
But this is crazy.
I have no problem with traveling across the city.
It's gotten.
Attack me.
Yeah. It's gotten embarrassing to this point. It's gotten embarrassing because there's constantly no response. Sinead, I'm gonna get to you. We're gonna close out for tonight. What you got? Any thoughts on anything tonight, Sinead? From relationships to the shenanigans going on here, or what?
I guess I'm gonna speak on the relationship part just because it's so personal. It's what I deal with every day.
Yes.
Just for anybody who's listening, and because I've been through it, and I have been a part of two blended families. I've been a stepmother, and I've had a child who has a stepmother. And in both cases, there was no drama. We all got along. We all got together. But you need to impart that and show that to your children, because now I'm a grandmother, and I think because my son saw me do it, that's the reason why he can do it. His daughter just turned 1. Him and the mother are not together. And when we had the birthday party, everybody was there. Her new boyfriend was there. It was no problem. My son and him spoke. They laughed. It was no drama. It was no competition or any of that. So in that case, especially when you do have children, try to show children that you can be around each other for a certain period of time, and it can be all about them, and it can be harmonious. So that's the message that I would put out about relationships. It's about
super important. Yeah, super important. And I appreciate that comment, Sinead. Yeah, that is important for the kids to know, because they pick up on everything. To know that people can get together, and even though you may have differences, but we can put those differences aside and deal with what's important. And that's, like I say, that it be a wedding, birthday party, graduation, and it's not always about them, the individual. While I'm not with so-and-so no more, I'm going to be, a certain kind of way. So that's super important. Not for nothing, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wind this down. We got like 2 minutes left. I want to thank everybody for calling in. Brother Hollop, I always appreciate you on the show. You know that. Mike, my brother, I love you. Thank you for calling in. Next week,
I'm trying to get in, man, when I can.
No doubt. Next week, super important broadcast, guys. We're talking about economics. I'm going to call it black economics next week. We're going to have Brother Yerima Karama. He is a good friend of Dr. Boyce Watkins. We're going to talk about debt, how to get rid of it. We're going to talk about black business, and we're going to talk about money and how to manage it, because a lot of us, even in our adult years, don't know how to manage money.
Home economics ain't learning how to cook.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be talking about a few things next week, so check us out next week for that. Rima Karama will join us again on the show next week, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is Real Talk All the Time. Guys, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We couldn't be here without you guys. Holla. Love you, brother. Mike, Renee, we out of here.
Right. All right, y'all. Peace.
We out of here. Good night.
Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online. Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.